smartandrelentless.com.
I'm Michael Kosmas. I am the founder and CEO of NXG. NXG Group is a training provider, training young people between the ages of 16 to 25. That's what we do. It's about making sure that those young people between those age groups are equipped with the skills that they need to be effective in the workplace and start up their own enterprises. That's what we do as NXG, whether it be mentoring, whether it be courses, whether it be events, everything is anchored towards that. And ultimately, we are also based within the kind of creative spectrum. So it's also about making sure, giving a platform for the next generation of artists and creative minds. And everything we do is focused at bridging the gap between the classroom and the industry, and making sure that we have an effective workforce for the future. My background has always been in enterprise. From the ages of 10, I can remember setting up businesses in my school, selling snacks, or later on in my teenage years where I would sell branded clothing. So literally I can see that entrepreneurship has been pretty much part of my entire life, and that's what I've been doing. That's what I've studied. Went to University of Kent and done a BA in business. Came out of that and started NXG Group. So enterprise is what I do. NXG Group started off the basis of artist management. At that time, I was managing 2 artists. When you're an artist manager, you're a mentor, you're a coach, you're a teacher. And that's exactly what NXG does. We're a mentor, we're a coach, we teach young people, but it's much more formalized in terms of we have accredited qualifications, we have qualified coaches, we have mentors who support young people to progress in different parts of life. And then ultimately, once I had mentored, coached an artist, it's about them getting on stage and entertaining the people. And that's what NXG does in the content creation we do for TV and broadcast, create engaging content primarily for 16 to 34 audiences. I did what everyone does in terms of research, and you find out the full list of potential clients. But for my point, when I was initially starting, I was looking for one contract per se. It is after gaining the first contract that we identified that we had a business model. And after that, that's where we literally look at the whole market and started looking at who are the stakeholders. But later on, as I develop as an entrepreneur, I now spend more time and energy refining my list of prospective clients so that I do not exert too much energy and effort in people who will not necessarily be able to purchase my product, my product or service. So it's about making sure that I refine that list to individuals who I think they have the capacity to get into business with us and who are in a position to buy. In that way, it allows you to be more targeted and be more precise. And it will help you alleviate the stress and the frustration of the no's you get from the marketplace. First contract I secured was to deliver after-school services for Medway Council for up to 50 young people for a period of 6 months. So it was a case of securing that contract, putting together a team of staff and volunteers to deliver that. And at the end of it, there was a showcase, and we delivered the showcase, and the local organizations who were within that marketplace found out about us, and they were calling us to deliver a similar service to them in different formats. So that's how we got started, and that was our first major win. Being persistent is being so focused on an objective that you do not let other things get in the way and continuing on a given path. So if you have set out to start a business, you have set out with an idea or with an objective, it's about making sure that you stick to it, erase self-doubt, do not always revise the plan before you have given it a chance for it to bear fruits, and literally being in it for the long game, not considering quitting as an option. For myself, I would say I will probably use an example of a challenging time where the business wasn't doing so well, and we had obligations to meet. And there was no clear direction in terms of where we were going to get the next paycheck. But nevertheless, in spite of all of that, we continued calling the clients that we were prospecting, putting in proposals in spite of everything else that was happening at the time. And within 1 month, after chasing business for 6 months, we made more in 1 month than we made the whole previous year. So really, persistency is about just continuing on a path, believing that you have an end outcome, believing in your capability and in your product and in your service. And also, this is, I would say the footnote to persistency is about being able to receive feedback and understanding what the responses from the no's are saying about what you are pursuing. Because when you're persistent, you're pursuing something that is maybe not coming forth straight away. So it might mean that as you do that, do you keep doing the same thing, hoping for the same result, or do you listen to the no's and really look at what you're doing and saying, how can we either better what we do or better communicate the values of our service? Because sometimes your product is good, but the communication channel and how you're presenting it doesn't really state out the values to the end user. I would say you want to look at a number of ways of how you would do that. Instead of just relying on cold calling, engage your industry. Go to networking events. Be very informed about who's who within your industry. Because when you focus on building relationship then rather than just building business or clientele, you will find that people are much more warmed to buying from you, because people tend to buy from you not just because of your product, but because of the person who's selling the product. So being able to build relationships with individuals within your industry and your marketplace will go a long way to help your prospecting. Then after that, it's about the clarity of presenting your product or service. People are too busy. There's too much going on. Can you communicate the value of your service in one sentence? What is it that you offer? Is it clear? Is it precise? And then the end person, within a minute of speaking to you, will be able to decide you have something that I need or you have something that I don't need. But what most entrepreneurs fail to do is being able to communicate their message in a precise, distinct, and precise way. For me, it depends. I think, I'm in my 9th year now with NXG. There is a bit of a team around me, so which means that I do not bend the oil as I used to do, if I may say. But when I started out, I would work anything 50, 60, 70 hours per week, depending on what needed to be done. Some of the stuff that I do is events and entertainment projects. So when you have an event on coming up in 2 days' time, and there are things that needs to be addressed, you just have to work as long as you need to. Or when you're on a film set and you're working on a project and the filming is delayed and you have to work on a 14-hour day, you just have, it's those times where you just have to do what's required within that week. But yeah, there are a lot of hours, and technically you are always working. Your mind is always alert. I always have my notepad with me. I could be watching TV, but I pick up something. I gotta note it down. I'm working. I could be, be at a social event. But I'm also mindful of who I need to meet, who I need to contact with while I'm having fun. So entrepreneurship, I would say, is probably more of a lifestyle, for you to be effective at it, because the opportunity doesn't always come between your 9 to 5 working hours. It comes whenever it comes, and you have to be able to respond to the opportunity and to the problems that come along with whatever you're running. I drew support from different individuals, different sources at different times. I can pick out individuals who either worked for NXG at the very early stages. Some people who I can remember who really supported the business. They did not come to work looking at the time. They came to work and they were willing to put in the hours to get the job done. even sometimes when there was no money to pay, I had some faithful individuals who stood by the vision and the direction we're taking. So it's about having people who are committed to the vision more than the paycheck. That was one source of support. And then I also have, so relatives, uncles who are in business, who I remember when times were tough and you needed a bit of cash flow, you would run to them, because sometimes when you are starting up, the banks are not always forthcoming with helping you. And at the same time, if you're an entrepreneur, you tend to end up not having the track record that most lenders want, because you don't have a steady job. So therefore, there are individuals who I can look back on in terms of my cousins and my peers who might have, and friends who supported me, as well as my family, in times of need when you don't have. They step in, they assist you with the small little things, even if it's a case of you're living under the roof for free. That's a contribution, the support system that I think is very valuable to helping anyone start up, and this certainly was for me. The biggest obstacle in starting my business in retrospective was not so much money, it was knowledge. Uh, it is the ability to know how to get around the marketplace, how to navigate yourself, what doors to knock, what key product to put at the forefront, as well as the procurement systems and sales cycle of your given industry. Money, yes, was important, but I find that individuals who come out of big companies within my industries and many industries tend to start their companies quicker, faster, with a faster growth rate than just an individual who's entering that market. The main reason is they have a domain knowledge and a content base within that industry that allows them to go ahead faster. So certainly it's about knowledge of the industry and the network. If I had, those at hand, I think I would have managed to got around some of the issues that we had starting up. I think in terms of books, I try to read as much as possible. I'm not necessarily a paperback book reader. I tend to use a bit more audio because I'm always on the go, in the gym, driving. I can pick up a book and I can get through it within a day or two. The books that have maybe changed my course in business, I can remember The Power and Principles of Vision by Dr. Miles Monroe. Powerful book. I remember I literally was in my first year running NXG, and I would read that book, and it would just kind of give me an ability to visualize where I was going, and also the importance of projecting the vision to whoever I get in touch with, so that people felt a sense of energy, a sense of drive from what I was doing, that they would end up helping me because they saw themselves within the wider vision that I projected. So The Power and Principles of Vision, Dr. Miles Monroe, you gotta read that. Recently, I've been reading The Values Factor, Dr. DeMartini. Interesting book, interesting take on how he takes neuroscience and achieving personal goals in life and in business, and also making sure that you pursue things that are closer to your values. More than anything else, because when you pursue items that are closer to your values, you are much more you're much more driven to it. You have an inherent ability to be more successful within those areas because you love it. It's not work. It's something that you do without getting paid for. So it's about basing your business and your ideas around your key values. Powerful book. I don't say favorite. It sounds like I'm choosing between one person or the other, but someone who has had a great impact on me is definitely Bishop T.D. Jakes. The way that he is able to make the text of the word relevant to your everyday situation, whether it be you're a mom raising two kids or you're a businessman with 20 staff. There's something you can pick out from him in terms of takeaway points that you can go and apply tomorrow. And ultimately, his creativity, absolutely creative in how he takes the word and brings it to life. Because ultimately, in communication, it's about taking you on a journey and making you feel like you were there, and that's what he does very very well. To be quite honest, for me, I don't see. I used to see it. I don't see the separation because uh, being a Christian, being in business, it's all part of the same thing that I am. Me personally, I won't see myself doing anything else. So I guess I've just learned how to get the two to work together and to actually use my Christian faith to help me in business. Because when you consider business, business at its core is faith, because you're taking something out of nothing and hoping that it will become something. So it takes faith to do that. It takes faith to have 20 staff, a big payroll, and have faith that, we will win the business that we will need to make sure everyone is paid. So there's a lot of faith involved in that. So if you're a Christian, I guess you already have that ability to draw on your faith to help you deal with some of those bigger challenging moments you face. Nelson Mandela for me is right up there, because of what he did. More so, his reaction to what happened to him, the ability to look the other way and look at the greater plan for a nation and set aside his own personal feelings and his own setbacks and anger that he might have had towards how he was treated, and be able to still work with other people on the other side of the table to push things forward. For me, that's I think that's a great character of a leader. And if you can ever do that, I think in business as well, you will be able to put aside petty little arguments or dislikes and preferences and work with a range of people within your company and outside of your company, and keep the main thing the main thing. There's a lot that we're hoping to achieve within that. I think, first of all, within our training side of things, we would like to establish ourselves as a number one creative training brand within the country, providing training and a platform for most of our creative individuals within the industry. On our content production side of things, we would hope that we might go have our own TV station, and broadcast our contents and have a brand. Almost, how can I say, NXG is, we're building it to be the Disney to the young adult, and that's what we are kind of pushing for. I'm a student of business models, and I look at a lot of companies and I admire their setup. I think you can help notice if you go to our website that there is a DNA of Virgin in terms of how we brand ourselves, how we have certain segments of the company. We have NXG Training, NXG Connect, NXG Entertainment. I really admire the brand that Richard has. In terms of the way that it's set up, the ability to have different models within a group, as well as looking at a broad range of service. And really what we are doing at NXG is looking at that spectrum from 16 to 34 and saying whatever service and product we think will fit within the ethos of the company, we will entertain it. Obviously, it's about making sure that we don't spread ourselves too thin, but over the years, we will forever be looking at different products or services, even out of our core services that we can develop and offer to our client group. So Virgin, the Virgin Group is certainly a brand that I admire. People can get in touch with me. Follow me Twitter and Instagram / Michael Kosmas on all platforms, as well as Facebook. You'll be able to see all the content, as well as everything that NXG is doing, as well as all of my personal projects that I'm working on. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur and you want to get into business, and you are either having a business startup within the next couple of months, or you're thinking, or you've always had an aspiration of getting into enterprise, certainly get in touch, because that's everything. That's what I'm about. It's about empowering individuals, helping out where I can. And also, if you're in London, get in touch with nxggroup.co.uk, and you'll see the different range of services, events we have within the creative media sector. So if you're looking for training, if you would want to be part of our courses and you're between the ages of 16 to 24, get in touch with us and see how you can be involved in NXG. Okay, in terms of future projects, we have a couple of things that I'm working on. First of all, we have a reality documentary TV show that we're putting together following the lives of young entrepreneurs from different industries. We are hoping that will be released later on this year. In that TV show will also come along with a book that I've authored, which is looking at supporting aspiring entrepreneurs to get into business. And within that, we are creating a whole suite of services to support you from dreaming of being an entrepreneur to becoming an entrepreneur and to scaling up your business. And this is an exciting time. And follow me on social media, and you will certainly get the latest about it.